Good morning, pre-algebra students. Today's lesson is solving multi-step equations. So get out your notebook. You're going to take a few notes. Mostly it's practice problems, though, because we've dealt with multi-step equations or equations before. All right, let's get started. These are the basic steps to solving an equation. So let's get these down in our notes. So the steps to solving an equation. First, combine like terms. So if you have any like terms, then you should combine those. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Then number 2, you're going to use inverse operations to isolate the variable, because remember that's our goal, is to isolate the variable and get it alone. Number 3, whatever you do to one side of the equation, you must do to the other. Number 4, you'll first add or subtract if you have any addition or subtraction, and then you're going to multiply and divide. And remember, your goal is to do inverse operations to isolate the variable. Let's see some examples. First, we'll start off with the word problem. So you want to write down a little bit about this problem. Suppose that a taxi charges $1.20 to start a ride. So write that down. You have $1.20 to start a ride. And then it's going to charge you $3 a mile. So write that down. If the ride costs $5.40, write that down. How far was the ride? So that's your question. So we're going to let x represents the distance traveled, and we're going to solve. So here is our equation. So let's solve this equation. So write this down. The first thing that I've told you to do is to go ahead and draw a line where the equal sign is. So we want to do that first. So there's our line. And this separates the left side of the equation from the right side. Whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other. This is a two-step equation. It requires 2 steps to solve. So the first thing I want to do is I see where x is. It's on the left-hand side. I want to isolate that. So that means I want to undo this addition. So I'm adding 120. So in order to undo that addition, I'm going to subtract $1.20 from both sides of this line, of the equal sign. Draw a line there, and that goes away. I bring down what I have left over there, which is 3x, bring down the equal sign, and then I subtract 540 minus 120, and I would get a 0 and a 2, and 5 minus 1 is 4. Now I still need to isolate the variable by dividing by 3. So the opposite of multiplying by 3 is dividing by 3. Whatever I do to one side, remember I have to do to the other, so I'm going to divide by 3. So x is equal to, and then I have to divide 4.20 divided by 3, and my answer is $1.40, or 1.4 miles. So x is the distance, so it's not $1.40, it's 1.4 miles. So that would be the answer to my equation. You can always check this by plugging the number back into the original equation. So let's do that. If I take the 3, I'm plugging back in, and I take the x, which I found was 1.4, and then I add 120. If I do that, I should get 540. So you can use a calculator to check. So if you multiply this, you'll get 3 times 4 is 12, and you should get 4.20. And if I add that to 120, does that give me 540? And if you use your calculator or do it by hand, then you do get 540. And that is a way to check if you're ever unsure of your answer. All right, let's do a couple more. All right, here I have a 2-step equation. Remember, the first step is to combine like terms, but I don't have any like terms to combine. So I'm going to go ahead and write this problem down. Negative 2x minus 5 equals 9. Draw a line that separates both sides of the equation. Now, first thing I want to do is add or subtract. So I look here and I see that I have subtracting 5. The opposite of subtracting 5 is adding 5. So I'm going to add 5 to both sides of the equation. Draw the line. This is canceled. Bring down the negative 2x equals, and then 9 plus 5 is 14. Now this is multiplication, and the opposite of multiplying is dividing, so I'm going to divide by a negative 2 on both sides. and I get x is equal to a positive divided by a negative is a negative, and I get -7. Again, just to show you, I can always double check by taking and plugging in the answer that I found into the original equation, and I can use a calculator to check. So -2x means a -2 times -7 minus 5 equals 9. And if I multiply that, I get a positive 14 minus 5 equals 9. And so, yes, it does check that that is the answer. All right, we have one more. All right, example number 3. We have 3x plus 4 minus x equals 28. So on this particular problem, you write it down. The first thing you want to do, again, is draw a line that separates the both sides of the equation by the equal sign. Now you can see on the left in this particular problem you have an x, 3x here, and then you have negative x here. So this is an example of one where you have to combine like terms first. So remember how we combine like terms. We can draw a little box around the like terms. So this is 3x and this is minus x. Whenever there's no number in front, remember that's a 1. So I have 3x minus 1x, and that makes 2x. So I've combined the like terms. I bring down the plus 4 equals 28. So then I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides, and then I get 2x equals 24, and of course then I would divide by 2, so I get x is equal to 12. And I can double check if I would like back into the equation to see if it works. Okay, and that's our notes for today. So have a great day, and we'll practice more in class.